listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, you know who, Salty, I would want to have on the podcast other than you?
Donald Trump.
Nobody.
Oh, okay.
Nobody.
All right.
There's nobody I'd rather talk to right now than you.
That's a lie, but I'll take it.
That is always the case. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All you do is win.
That's all you do. I don't
so,
come up
in
here
case
to lose.
people don't know, you are the head coach in charge of winning for the Bourne Braves of the Cape Cod League. It is your third year?
This is my third year, yes.
Third year. I have a good memory. So, let's start there. Is it when you came down, I remember when you said you were going to do it, I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Well, I love the Northeast. My time in Boston was, magical, the most memorable time of my life. So being able to come back up to Northeast, I didn't go to college, so I didn't get to try and play in the Cape. So I had the opportunity. I want to kind of further my career and not be in high school forever. So I got the opportunity, came out, had a great time coaching, great athletes, D1 prospects. And then we won. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll come back again. Came back for a second year. We won again. So now it's just now I have to come back, try and win a third time.
I think that you said at one point you were interested in maybe coaching or certainly managing in the major leagues. Has this given you a different perspective on it? Good, bad, indifferent?
I definitely am more probably leaning towards college. I think that college baseball right now is something I enjoy. These kids are, wanting information. Every second I talk to them, they're asking new questions and no more questions, and they're just retaining it like no other. I've heard horror stories of pro baseball, but at the same time, if their situation was right, obviously I would love to coach at the highest level. But I don't know if that situation is ever going to come up or not. I'm always open to it. We'll see what happens. But, right now I can see a college position probably opening up before a pro.
Well, good connections, right?
I got good connections, but, it's different. I think the game's changed from when I was.
Has it?
I think so. Not the game per se, but I think the mindset, a lot of data analytic driven stuff. Which is fine. I think sometimes it gets a little overboard, so that's kind of why I would like to coach in the pro level, because I used a lot of the analytic stuff to help, and I think some of it was a little too much, But I also want to get to know the players in their mind, because these kids think a lot differently than I thought. So I'm understanding why they're looking at their 0-2, strikeout percentage. Their thought is, I don't want to get to 2 strikes. I need to hit and attack early. I'm like, all right, well, why don't we try and see what you can do with 2 strikes. Maybe be a better 2-strike hitter. And then you won't be afraid to get there and swing at a pitch that may not be a strike because you don't want to get there. So just trying to open their minds a little bit too.
Can you see that, because you get these kids down here fresh off their college season, can you see where the analytics have leaked in? Not leaked in, that's a negative connotation, but when they get here, oh, hey, where's the track man? Or I did this or I did that, or, do you see that? Where you're what are you talking about?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it started 2 years ago at the Combine. I was watching these kids hit on a big league ballpark. And when I was doing it, I'm like, all right, let's see if I can hit some line drives or how far I can hit it. They were strictly looking at exit velocity. That's what they were looking at. This year we had a kid on the mound who was throwing his changeup, and you got 40, 50 scouts up there watching these kids, and he's throwing 12 changeups in a row because it was negative 17.2 vert, and he wanted to get to negative 20. And I'm like,
really?
Yeah, you got scouts here want to see you throw your fastball and all your stuff, and you're throwing a changeup, and it wasn't an 82 mile, it was 89. The kid threw 95, so there wasn't a big differential. But they're looking at the vert, the horizontal, all this stuff, which I think it can be helpful.
Yeah.
Verlander taught me about the RPM stuff, so I'm a believer in that now. But you still have to throw the ball over the plate. You still have to throw strikes.
Well, going back to this, spin rate is almost, I don't want to say it's archaic, but that's one of the things that everyone understands now.
Yeah.
Whereas, when you were catching Koji, we were like, why the hell does this ball jump? And we're like, what is happening? And now we know he had a good, but you had I don't even know what analytics were like being passed in pieces of paper to you in the clubhouse back
No,
then.
we had hot and cold zones, stuff like that for hitters. I mean, my pregame routine, I would go in there and look at every hitter, and I would go through, every time they faced that pitcher for one to see what they did. But then two, I would go through, all right, fastball's up and in. What's his batting average against? Fastball's middle, in, down, like go through every spot. And then I would go through the breaking balls and the sliders and the change and just try and see what the best pitch and what scenario. And I would break them down to a T like that. And then I would pitch to my pitcher's strengths, but I would also use those analytics to, help me kind of understand what kind of a hitter they were, what two-strike approach they're thinking. I mean, if their average goes way up on something hard in with 2 strikes, I'll look at the spray chart, and it's always the left field. I'm like, all right, so 2 strikes, he's sitting, trying to go the other way. What can I do to make him roll over? Change up, backdoor breaking ball, stuff like that.
Well, again, like it's valuable, but now you would get that in 50 different forms from 50 different machines. And I'm not, again, I understand it, but at the same time, I think it is a little bit overblown. But it is interesting, like the Koji spin rate thing, right? Because you were probably thinking the same thing.
Well,
like, how is
100%.
we're calling for a fastball? Why are you guys so late on this?
Right. Well, I mean, the spin rate was there. Obviously, they have to respect the splitter. They can throw it any time for a strike. So, I mean, what Koji did so well is he was able to throw strikes. If you throw strikes, you get hitters active, and they're activated. But Koji could throw it wherever he wanted. Like, he knew the guy was swinging, so he's going to throw a little off the plate, or he's going to throw it down and away. Like, he's able to locate. I mean, location always wins.
When Tampa comes, when I talk to Kyle Snyder, the favorite question for everybody, every time for them is, what's the secret sauce of Tampa, right? And they're like, strike one.
Yeah.
Strike one. But so that's the thing that hasn't changed, right?
No.
We have the percentages of if you get the ball over in strike one, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I think strike one's always obviously important. I think what kind of changed from when I was playing to now is you only get to face the team twice. Like, you're only going to face around the lineup twice, and then you got to go to the bullpen. And so as a pitcher, what am I going to try and do? I'm not going to try and get weak contact to keep my pitch count down. I'm not worried about my pitch count. I'm just trying to punch you out because I'm getting paid for punch outs, for one. For two, like, I know I'm not going to face these guys more than twice. I'm not going to be in the game late, so I can let it all eat from pitch one, and then I'm out. So
how about hitting? Like, for you, we go through a lot of, and I don't know what you're teaching. I don't know because there's a sign now in the spring training complex that you used to go to, which is it's like, hit the ball in the air, hit the ball in the air, hit the ball in the air. Okay, hit the ball in the air, right? So I want to get the salty, I want to get what the Bourne Braves are hearing from you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a philosophy that I've always felt worked, and I didn't really learn it until like my 6th year, and I was in Boston. And it was funny, I was talking to Willie Bloomquist the other day, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, was it 6, 7 years? I'm like, yeah. He goes, same for me. Like, no one taught me how to have an approach until my 7th year. So it's simple. We break it in halves. Like, you got to pick one side of the plate. You're not Miguel Cabrera. You can't cover both sides of the plate and be successful. So let's go ahead and slow the ball down. Let's work outer half. Doesn't mean you can't pull the ball. It just means we're looking out there and we're taking the inside pitch, because in the mind, we speed up. As soon as you're thinking, you start to speed up and cheat. Your lower half collapses, you lose it. Your hands can be back, but you have nothing behind it. So eliminating the inside half, just looking away, knowing that 90% of pitchers aren't going to pitch in. If they do, it might be an accident, or it's one pitch just to go back away. That hasn't changed since the beginning of time.
See, these kids are lucky to have you.
I hope so.
If you can only get them not to play hacky sack,
It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing.
What is happening?
The opposing hitters are grabbing their bats right now, saying that we've already got this in the bag. It's so bad.
You and Pedroia never played hacky sack before a game?
No, absolutely not. That is definitely a no go.
So speaking of hitting approach, I had just proclaimed that you had one of the biggest hits in Red Sox history.
Oh yeah, I mean,
no, it's true. So I say, this is my take, that Ortiz's home run, and I'm talking about Game 2 of the ALCS in 2013. Ortiz's grand slam was the most impactful hit in Red Sox history, and here's the reason why. Because he had to hit a grand slam.
Yeah.
He couldn't hit a double, triple, single, solo homer, whatever. He had to hit a grand slam, and otherwise you guys go down, probably down 2-0, heading to Verlander in Detroit, and then you go and win the World Series, most impactful. But it's not that way unless you get a single.
Yeah.
Take me through that, with all due respect, a friend of the program, Rick Porcello. We love Rick. Take me through, like, I don't know if you've ever done this, of like, let's do a 30 for 30 on the salty at bat.
Oh, man. Well, I never considered myself a great hitter. I always considered myself a guy that had to focus on getting a pitcher through a game. And thankfully, I had a lineup like we had with the Red Sox that I didn't have to worry about hitting. Whatever I did was a plus. But that being said, big situation, obviously. It was a perfect matchup because Porcello's sinker just went right into what I do. His velocity was a tick above my bat speed, so I think he might have had to slow that one down, or otherwise I might have been able to hit something deeper. But no, actually I got a hit and run on the first pitch, and I popped up foul.
Really?
And thankfully we didn't have this netting and all this stuff here, so Prince actually ran to the stands and ended up dropping it because the fan kind of interfered a little bit, but nothing was called. And then next pitch was a pass ball, and then I think another one was another wild pitch, so he's at third. So I'm like, all right, man, this is simple. You've been doing this your whole career. Just get a ball up in the zone you can do something with. And, of course, it wasn't up in the zone. It was down the zone. Late swing, drove the ball past our boy Iggy.
Yeah.
Iglesias at short.
One of the finest musicians in the history of baseball right now.
And he doesn't miss a ground ball whatsoever.
When you hit it, did you think, oh, he's going to get it?
No, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even focused on the infield. I didn't even know they were in.
Yeah.
I mean, I assumed they were in because it's common knowledge, but like I wasn't thinking. I was so focused on being able to get a pitch that I can hit, and knowing that, hey, if I don't get this guy in, I'm at first base.
Yeah.
And nothing good happens when I'm at first base. I can't steal. I can't run. There's so many bad things going to happen. David just kind of, changed the whole momentum for us. Scherzer's out, obviously, so, it was just a good moment.
Another thing about that, which I've never really talked to David about because it's, man, you had Benoit.
Yeah.
You had his changeup. Everyone knows he had his changeup, right? And maybe David didn't want it. I don't know. But you guys knew when he was throwing a changeup. So.
Well, I mean, David had faced him many times. Earlier in the year, we faced him. He just missed him at Detroit, and I think he faced him the day before in here. So I can't remember what it was, but David is a lot smarter hitter than I think people give him credit for. He didn't just grab a bat and hit a home run. I mean, that guy had an approach and a plan every single time. Best hand-eye coordination I've ever seen. And obviously, he's no other person I'd want in there in a big-time situation.
Well, no other person I'd rather have in there in the big-time situation was you. Have you ever had a rush like that? I mean, you win the World Series, right? I mean, when you win the World Series, it's fine. You're great. You win the World Series.
Yeah.
But to be the centerpiece of it.
I mean, I've had some home runs, some walk-offs. We hit a grand slam against the Yankees that kind of solidified us getting to the playoffs. That was a huge moment, but I mean, there's nothing like ALCS. What should have been my family sitting in the stands cheering me on. Then
Where were they?
Well, we were staying at 1330, that building right there.
Yeah.
So Pedroia's place was right next to mine, overlooking. You could see the whole field. My apartment could see outfield and the Big Tron. And I guess my wife was tired, so she took the kids home.
She didn't go? Took the kids home to that game?
And then I got home, and I'm like, really, you didn't go? She goes, well, I thought something good happened because I heard everyone going nuts. And I'm like, yeah, I hit a walk-off, No.
Said, oh,
She
so
was
when do you leave for Detroit?
Yeah, she's like, all right, awesome. Congrats, babe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Which is good. That's humbling for me. It helped me throughout my whole career. No one kind of played me to be too big. It was great.
You're chasing that next moment where she can be in attendance.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen. I took the garbage out this morning, so that was one of the bigger moments, I think.
Happy wifey, happy lifey.
That's what they say.
So, power rank, if you can, being in the cave, power rank the 3 most impressive players that you've seen play in the cave in your time there.
Power ranked. Well, it's only been about 10 days, and there's a lot of new players.
No, I'm saying for the entire time.
Oh, for the time I've been there? I mean, Matt Shaw definitely was one of those guys up there.
They don't have to have played for Bourne either.
Yeah, I mean, we won 2 years in a row. Yeah. So, I mean, is there anybody that good, obviously?
Yeah, you win.
Yeah, I mean, come on. So Shaw for me was a big guy. Like I like dogs, so like we had another guy, JKG, Rutgers kid, and I mean the kid he played. It wasn't nothing but a game to him. He could have gone home. He decided he wanted to stay because he wanted to win. I like guys like that. We had, I'm trying to think of the kid's name. There was a pitcher we had for a day. I don't respect other teammates, other players.
Yeah.
So like,
That's fair.
I'm just gonna head and say all my guys.
All right.
So
That's fair. All right. Here's the last question. Now, this is the most difficult one. I know how you're going to answer it, but I got to ask it because it is the wasabi hot or not question of the day, and it is hot. Paying $500 to go to a Taylor Swift concert. Why getting a chance to hang out with Travis Kelce for the entire concert?
And what are my options? Hot or not?
Yeah, you say it's worth paying $500 or not. It's all right. No one's going to take offense.
Jeez, it's a tough one for me because I would not go to a Taylor Swift concert if it was in my backyard. But unfortunately, I actually am going to a Taylor Swift concert because my kids are like diehard, and it was like a Christmas present. I had a connection, so I used it. So I guess it's hot because then I'll look cool in front of my kids. But yeah, I'm not a fan.
The Kelce factor doesn't
do much for me. No, doesn't do much for me.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, just catch the ball. All right, you're a football player. Stay on the field, catch the ball.
Catch the ball.
All right, get up, hand the ball to the quarterback. Next play, let's go.
All right. You nailed it. Thank you.